Hi, I'm Chris Peacock, and this is Doctor Who, Season 3, Episode 5, Evolution of the Daleks. Although my video says The Evolution of the Daleks, and the title card doesn't have a the. I don't know which is correct, so it's either Evolution of the Daleks or The Evolution of the Daleks. Either way, I'm not going to make it too big of a deal on that. And yeah, so Daleks are in Manhattan doing something with the Empire State Building. Still not entirely sure what their goal is with the actual Empire State Building. However, we do know that they were doing experiments on people. Some people becoming pig people to be the workforce, the slaves, and the smarter people becoming part of the final experiment, which is making Dalek human hybrids. I don't know what a Dalek human hybrid can do compared to a regular Dalek. I would assume it's actually weaker, because the Dalek's protection all comes from the suit, like the armor, the metal. And I mean, the metal also has like their force field and their laser and their suction cup thing, and all of that's in the suit. I think they established in Dalek, in Season 1, and probably in Classic Who before that, that they really weren't all that special without the suit. Like, they were squishy and they weren't strong, they weren't... But I mean, even if you want to give them the benefit of having the human part, that would only make them as durable as a human. Which, I guess that's more durable than a squishy little brain thing, but it's not as durable as the armor you already had. Whatever. I'm sure there's some benefit to this, or they wouldn't be doing it. So, oh well. That was Andrew Garfield. I know I was kind of quiet when I said, okay, it is Andrew Garfield. Because, I did check. I was like, is that Andrew Garfield? I normally I would have paused and been like, is that Andrew Garfield? But I didn't want to pause. So I was just like, is it? That's what I was doing, if you couldn't tell, when they first introduced that character. And yeah, it was him. So, whatever. I can't think off the top of my head how famous or not famous he was in 2007. I don't think I knew him. I mean, I still don't know him, but you know what I mean. Knew of him. I don't think I knew of him in 2007. And if I did, I can't think of from what. I think the first thing I saw him in was The Social Network. And that wasn't out yet in 2007, because Facebook had barely started in 2007. Alright. Enough of that. Enough talking about Andrew Garfield. Let's start the episode.
What is that sound? Well, now, that would be me. Hello, surprise, boo, etc.
Doctor.
Request information. What is your opinion of Dalek Sec?
We were created to follow him.
But you have doubts.
Affirmative.
So do I. I think this is a stupid plan.
Oh. It's not safe up there, come back!
I'm told that I'm addressing the Daleks, is that right?
Observe humanity for all their faults. They have such courage.
From what I hear, you're outcast too. Ain't we the same? Underneath, and we all kin?
This might work just because of that one, but it definitely wouldn't normally work.
If you have any compassion in your hearts, then you'll meet with us and stop this fight.
Exterminate!
I know it's not really funny, but that was funny.
First, we tried growing new Dalek embryos, but their flesh was too weak.
Yeah, I found one of your experiments. Just left to die out there in the dark.
It forced us to conclude what is the greatest resource
This is
of
the
this planet.
doofiest looking creature design.
It's people.
Removing the emotions makes you stronger. That's what your creator thought all those years ago.
He was wrong.
He was what?
It makes us lesser than our enemies. We must return.
These other 3 Daleks are not happy.
And also, the heart.
New York City.
Be careful.
If aliens had to come to Earth. Oh, no wonder they came here.
He had this companion a while back, this friend. And ever since then, he's been on his own. But, you know, sometimes I say something or do something, and he looks at me, and I just sort of think, he's not seeing me.
How much time happened between the Runaway Bride and Smith and Jones? Because I know the time between Doomsday and the Runaway Bride was like, well, okay, there was a time gap in the middle of Doomsday, so ignoring that, I know the time between the end of Doomsday and the beginning of Runaway Bride was seconds. I guess it doesn't matter how much time happened in between the Runaway Bride and Smith and Jones, because there was the time gap in the middle of Doomsday, so never mind, that works.
You will not fire! He is an enemy of the Daleks, and so are you!
I am your commander. I am Dalek.
You have lost your authority! You are no longer a Dalek!
Yeah.
You have betrayed me.
You told us to imagine, and we imagined your irrelevance.
I was your leader.
Pig slaves will take the lift, find the doctor, kill him.
Okay. At least it's just the pig slaves, because you guys would stand no chance against Daleks. Ooh.
Zero, Gamma strike.
They were people who had killed him.
No. The Daleks killed them.
Yes.
War demands.
Why haven't they killed him?
I am designated controller.
That was to be my position.
You are unfit.
Oh, there ain't nothing more creepy than a theater in the dark. Listen, Doctor, I know you got
Yeah.
a thing for show tunes, but there's a time and a place, huh?
Have you ever been in a theater at night? With it's dark in the theater. It is kind of creepy. And yes, I have been. I mean, it's cool, but it is kind of creepy.
Planet Earth will become new Scarrow.
Oh, and what a world. With anything just the slightest bit different ground into the dirt. That's Dalek sick. Don't you remember? The cleverest Dalek ever, and look what you've done to him.
The Doctor must die.
No. I beg you, don't.
Exterminate.
Your own leader.
Dalek humans, take aim.
What are you waiting for? Give the command.
Exterminate.
Why?
Daleks do not question orders.
But why?
You will stop this.
But
Why?
You must not question. Exterminate. Exterminate. Destroy the hybrids. Destroy. Exterminate. Exterminate. The Dalek humans are failures. Destruct. Destruct.
And there's one left for next time. Oh.
Only 2 of the Daleks have been destroyed.
Yeah, we need one
One
for
of the
next
Dalek
time.
masters must still be alive.
Let me help you. What do you say?
Emergency temporal shift.
Doctor! Doctor, can't you do something?
Oh, Tallulah with 3 L's and an H. Just you watch me. What do I need? Oh, I don't know. How about a great big genetic laboratory? The doctor is in.
I mean, don't imagine people ain't gonna stare. I can't promise you'll be at peace. But in the end, that is what Hooverville is for. People ain't got nowhere else.
Thank you.
So that only buys you a couple years. Anywhere else in the universe I might worry about them, but New York's what this city's good at. Given you're tired, you're poor, you're huddled masses, and maybe the odd pig-slave Dalek mutant hybrid too.
Honestly, New York wouldn't even look twice. At least 2019 New York. I don't know about 1930 New York, but people would honestly just assume it was makeup. Wouldn't think anything of him.
Just proves it, I suppose. There's someone for everyone.
Maybe.
Think you'll ever see it again?
Oh, yes. One day.
All right, and that is the end of another two-parter. Very good two-parter. I enjoyed both parts. The Daleks are... I have been informed that they have to use the Daleks every season or they lose the rights to them. I don't know if that's still the case in the current female Doctor. I assume it is, but I don't know. So I'm expecting to see the Daleks at least one episode every season, which is fine. Although I do wish they hadn't been in the title, because that would have been a pretty cool reveal. Because going back to the last episode, Daleks in Manhattan, you have you had already seen the pig creatures, so maybe you're thinking, like, if you don't know the title, maybe you're thinking that the pig creatures are just the main enemy of the episode, and so you meet the pig creature that kidnapped Laszlo, and then you know the bosses are coming up on the elevator, and then the elevator door opens, and it's not just a pig creature, it's Daleks! But no, it was in the title. Oh well. That's my biggest complaint, is that it was in the title. Like, I do not think it should have been. Now, I know back in season 1, that whole episode was just titled Dalek. But I didn't have that complaint because I didn't know what a Dalek was. However, going back to that episode, yes, going back to season 1, Dalek, as someone who's seen Classic, which I am not, but I'm pretending that I am, I don't like that title. And it didn't occur to me at the time because Daleks were new to me. But that would have been an excellent reveal. In the rich guy's museum, what was his name? I forgot the rich guy's name. Sorry. But in his museum of alien things, and you stumble, and the Doctor sees, and he's like, what's that? And then he sees, it's Dalek. And that would have been, to the audience, to people who've seen Classic, they're, it's a Dalek. But no, the title. See, it worked in the season 2 finale, the 2-part finale. The Daleks were not in the title. And you see the Cybermen before the Daleks. So you're thinking the Cybermen are the main big threat in the episode, and then they're not. The Daleks are. I mean, the Cybermen are still a threat, but that's beside the point. So that it worked best because the Daleks were actually a genuine reveal in last season. But in Dalek, and then here in Daleks in Manhattan, they weren't. I mean, they were still awesome. The Daleks were great. But it would have been better if they hadn't been in the title. Like, maybe still this could be Evolution of the Daleks. Like, if you don't know what the title of this one is before you watch the last one, or you don't know that the last one's connected to this one as a two-parter, which I did not. I mean, I suspected, but I didn't know. We were due for a two-parter. We hadn't had a two-parter yet this season. We were due. But yeah, this was an enjoyable two-parter. And if the only complaint I can really find with it is I think they were poorly titled, well, that's not really part of the episode now, is it? I mean, it is. It is. The episode is part of the episode. The episode title is part of the episode, so it counts. Otherwise, Andrew Garfield was a little bit distracting, but that's 2019 me talking. 2007 me would not have found him distracting at all. So I can't really have that be a fault with the episode, because that's a fault from the future. And he was only distracting because I was like, it's Andrew Garfield. Otherwise, his acting wasn't bad or out of place or anything. I do think he's the most famous guest star I've seen on Doctor Who. But obviously not at the time. Who is the most famous guest star of the time? Anthony Stewart Head last season? 2006 Anthony Stewart Head is definitely more famous than 2007 Andrew Garfield. Should I call him Tony Head, not Anthony Stewart Head? I have his Buffy credit in my head, but I know everyone always calls him Tony Head, not Anthony Stewart Head. Regardless, doesn't matter. The most famous Doctor Who guest stars so far really doesn't matter. Although, taking current level of fame, it's definitely Andrew Garfield that I've noticed. Alright. I'm going to end it here. Excellent episodes. I do feel bad about Solomon's death, but it was still funny. I mean, it was kind of one of those jokes you're expecting, so it's not as funny as it would have been. I mean, that's a joke that's been played out before. The inspirational speech, and then they kill you anyway. It's been done before, but it's still funny. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I wasn't even planning on recording this episode tonight, but it was a two-parter, and I wanted to see both parts in one sitting, so... Alright. Hopefully you enjoyed. Torchwood next time. So we have... we're back to Torchwood for 2 episodes before we come back to Doctor Who, so I will see you in Torchwood.